Hello everyone, welcome. This is Crota giving you game 2 in a series between Nerchio and WhyNot. And right now, we'll see whether or not WhyNot will be able to continue his win streak after game 1. Nerchio a little bad-mannered, well not even a little, very bad-mannered in game 1. Purposely ignored the good luck have fun at the beginning and deliberately told him so. So we'll see whether or not WhyNot will be able to come back and make Nerchio eat those words, or if Nerchio will prove that WhyNot is a bad player. Now, WhyNot opening up with a 9 pylon close to home. We'll see what exactly Nerchio will be doing. It looks like he did go for a 9 overlord followed by a 10 drone. No extractor trick coming in at all as this game does get underway. Overlords now making their way out. Drones still being trained. And really Nerchio, I think, just got overconfident in game 1. Getting overconfident is just a really big downfall, especially if you start trash-talking your opponent. He did have a lot of Mutalisks, but he kind of split up his army when WhyNot decided to attack and engage with the bulk of his army, and because of his Mutalisks being at his opponent's base, he wasn't able to deal damage to the army in order to destroy it. Drones are now making its way off in the clockwise direction, will quickly spot exactly where WhyNot is. WhyNot now setting up an assimilator and going to continue to build. And we'll see what strategy WhyNot goes for here on Tal'Darim Altar. Tal'Darim Altar, generally a very macro-heavy map. Nerchio does have the benefit of having these destructible rocks and his third base away from his opponent, so he should be able to expand pretty easily either here or here. We now see a drone now chasing away a probe, and the drone does know where exactly his opponent is. And WhyNot once again doing a rather, I'll say this again, a rather late Forge fast expand is the best thing that I can call it. You can see that the Cybernetics core is being built close to his pylon here, and you know that WhyNot learned his lesson in game 1 not to leave that Cybernetics core next to his exposed pylon, but then this front door will be a little bit more difficult to establish. Even if he gets a forge here, he still needs additional production buildings in order to finish off that wall off, as Zerglings are now making their way out. A probe now desperately trying to run away. Cybernetics core now completed. Stalker and Warp Gate tech now being researched, as we should be getting an additional pylon. You can see that WhyNot is currently supply blocked. He needs to get up another pylon, and it will be a little bit of time until that does happen, and him being supply blocked may end up hurting him in the end. Zerglings now making their way in. We can see that there is going to be one probe, one zealot, and he is delaying his production as the Zerglings are now going to try to engage. Perhaps take down this probe here, getting some damage. The probe needs to run away. It gets taken out. One Zergling for one probe. Not a good trade at all. Nerchio can do that all day and be very happy. A new probe is being trained to replace the lost one. Pylon now being added. Forge going to be added on this front door as well. So I like WhyNot's delayed Forge fast expansion is the best way to call it. Basically, he gets up to 26/26 and then saves up resources. Another gateway now going to be added, so it's going to be at least 2 production buildings as opposed to only 1 in the previous matchup. And now it will be 3, so it is going to be 3 full production buildings, 1 zealot standing right there, and then a stalker behind it, so that the stalker and the zealot are able to take down a lot of units as they try to funnel through. Now, a photon cannon can be added here and added here as well. You got to be really careful though. If you add the photon cannon here, you may actually wall yourself in, and the zealots and the stalkers can't get out, as we now see that the hatchery is already completed by Nerchio. Nerchio sitting on a 20 drone to 23 probe, as another probe was taken out somewhere on the map, and now in come a swarm of Zerglings. The Zerglings now going to try to test this front door. There is going to be a zealot, there is going to be a sentry, 1 photon cannon back over here. The zealot is on hold position, and where is that sentry? That sentry really needs to get down that force field, and there you go. Another pylon coming in as well, and the zealot able to hold off a lot of units as this pylon has taken some actual damage. Now, if the Zerglings try to come back in and try to take this down, they might be able to, as we now see additional photon cannons and pylons being warped in. And now this front door is just pretty much too established, and now we see Nerchio expanding well before the 8-minute mark once more, as we now see 28 probes to 31 drones, with still more drones being trained and a tech to tier 2. Now, what most likely we will see from Nerchio, Nerchio should perhaps go to tier 2, get up a Spire, and then try to utilize those Mutalisks much more heavily. There is a proxy pylon down over here, and Nerchio does not spot it. WhyNot does spot this hatchery, so this hatchery may end up getting destroyed, as we now see level 1 weapons upgrade being added. You can see that there are 3 gateways. Oh, this is going to be really, really bad. A probe. Oh, good gosh. The Zealot is able to warp back in time. The probe now turning back around, and the Zealot was able to warp in right there. And Nerchio calling WhyNot a so bad-mannered so far, as we now see the more units are still being added off over here. The hatchery still being built. There is still a pylon down over here. Units could warp in to try to take this down. And we'll see what is going to happen here, as this one pylon is not doing anything. Well, apparently WhyNot saying, you know what, I don't really care what you say. And the hatchery does spot the pylon does spot the hatchery, and we'll see if any units are going to be transferred over there. Zealots, sentries, and stalkers attempting to take down these destructible rocks. Zerglings now making their way over. Overlord does spot this, and in comes the units. Zerglings now need to engage, and they are going to be able to engage here. There's some force fields protecting as the Zealots and the sentries finish off many of those units. And a nice trade there, as you trade energy for units, always a very good trade. And now you can see Zerglings attempting to take down this pylon. No warp in. WhyNot apparently didn't want to stop this hatchery from being built, and WhyNot with a very strong economic advantage moving in to the mid game. Now, stalkers, sentries, and zealots making their way out. Taking a look at the army composition, you can see that WhyNot does have a WhyNot has a larger food count, but it is currently behind them. But we do see 5 spine crawlers added on the front door, and that may be too much. Proxy pylon now on the low ground. Stalker's going to need to engage, and they're going to need to engage quickly, as you now see multiple spine crawlers coming in. Where are the Zerglings? Drones now coming off the mineral line as well. Force fields need to come in, and no force fields, as the spine crawlers are just getting torn apart. Zealots and Zerglings both sides still engaging. The Zealots do have the level 1 weapons upgrade, and more units are still warping in. Drones coming off the mineral line. The Zealots should be able to finish off one spine crawler there. Another spine crawler here, as Nerchio is in trouble. There's some transfusions trying to save it. Drones trying to save it. And once again, Nerchio unable to fend off the attack, as we now have more Zealots warping in again. The Zealots may be able to take down the hatchery over here. Not enough stalkers to really deal with the Mutalisks. And we now see WhyNot finally going into those units. We're currently sitting on 4 stalkers. Hatchery has been destroyed. Stalkers still being added off over here. Zerglings almost able to take down the sentries. Sentries still alive at 1 hit point. And the Zerglings are still getting destroyed. So Nerchio unable to do very much. And now in comes the Mutalisks, finally able to focus down that sentry. Stalkers now engaging against the Mutalisks in sheer numbers, and it looks like the Stalkers are just going to be focus firing onto those Mutalisks, and one at a time those Mutalisks have fallen, and Nerchio loses game 2 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.